TikTok on Friday said that it would turn off more than 170 million Americans' access to the super popular video app on Sunday, unless President Joe Biden's administration acts urgently to assure the company it will not be punished for violating the terms of its looming ban. A bipartisan law, signed by Biden in April, requires TikTok to sell to American buyers by Sunday or face a ban in the United States. The Supreme Court earlier in the day allowed the controversial ban to stand. The Biden administration has made clear it would leave enforcement of the ban to President-elect Donald Trump, who will be inaugurated on Monday, and a White House official reiterated Friday night that its position on the matter has been sufficiently clear. While the official did not rule out further action before the Sunday deadline, they said the administration had clearly signaled that it would not penalize service providers like Google and Apple for hosting TikTok on Sunday. Still, TikTok said that was not enough. The statements issued today by both the Biden White House and the Department of Justice have failed to provide the necessary clarity and assurance to the service providers that are integral to maintaining TikTok's availability to over 170 million Americans, the company said in a statement Friday evening. Unless the Biden administration immediately provides a definitive statement to satisfy the most critical service providers assuring non-enforcement, unfortunately TikTok will be forced to go dark on January 19th. Trump has suggested, but not outright stated, that he will not enforce the ban. He had asked the Supreme Court to stay the ban so his incoming administration could work out a deal to sell TikTok to American buyers. But the Supreme Court rejected an appeal from the app's owners that claimed the law violated the First Amendment, allowing the ban to take place. So TikTok could turn itself off Sunday, only to turn itself back on at a later date if Trump gives it assurances it will go unpunished for violating the ban. The company's Friday night warning was driven by concerns from service providers that face steep fines for allowing access to the app in the event of a ban. Some service producers, companies that would face exorbitant fines for allowing access to TikTok once the ban takes effect, told TikTok Friday that they still feel vulnerable, according to a person familiar with the matter, who added that the service providers do not feel that they've been given enough assurance that they will not be liable. Of course, the Biden administration's power runs out on Monday, and White House aides have made clear that implementation of the law is entirely up to the incoming administration. In the meantime, TikTok executives seem to be operating out of an abundance of caution, fearing legal and financial penalties and exerting maximum pressure to keep the app alive in the United States over the long term. The Supreme Court won't intervene. Earlier Friday, the High Court handed down an unsigned opinion in the TikTok case, and there were no noted dissents. The decision, which followed warnings from the Biden administration that the app posed a grave national security threat because of its ties to China, will allow the ban to start Sunday. But there are a lot of lingering questions about how the ban would work in practice because there's no precedent for the U.S. government blocking a major social media platform. And how exactly the government would enforce it remains unclear. In its opinion, the Supreme Court acknowledged that for 170 million Americans, TikTok offers a distinctive and expansive outlet for expression, means of engagement, and source of community. But the court said Congress was focused on national security concerns, and that, the court said, was a deciding factor in how it weighed the case. Congress has determined that divestiture is necessary to address its well-supported national security concerns regarding TikTok's data collection practices and relationship with a foreign adversary, the court wrote. In a TikTok video responding to the decision, TikTok CEO Shou Chew suggested the company will continue its efforts to ensure the app remains accessible for Americans, potentially now with an assist from President-elect Trump. We have been fighting to protect the constitutional right of free speech for the more than 170 million Americans who use our platform every day to connect, create, discover, and achieve their dreams, Chew said. On behalf of everyone at TikTok and our users across the country, I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to work with us to find a solution that keeps TikTok available in the United States. He added, "We are grateful and pleased to have the support of a president who truly understands our platform, one who has used TikTok to express his own thoughts and perspectives, connecting with the world and generating more than 60 billion views of his content in the process." Trump tells CNN, "I'll be making the decision." The ruling also puts the spotlight on Trump, who spoke with CNN's Pamela Brown after the decision came down. "It ultimately goes up to me, so you're going to see what I'm going to do," Trump said. Asked if he would try to reverse the pending ban, Trump said, "Congress has given me the decision, so I'll be making the decision. Trump also confirmed he spoke with Chinese President Xi Jinping, saying they had a great talk about TikTok and a great talk about many other subjects. But the Biden administration, which ends in less than 72 hours, said it was time for Trump to take the baton on the ban. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said in a statement Friday morning that President Biden's position on TikTok has been clear for months, including since Congress sent a bill in overwhelming, bipartisan fashion to the president's desk. TikTok should remain available to Americans, but simply under American ownership or other ownership that addresses the national security concerns identified by Congress in developing this law. Given the sheer fact of timing, this administration recognizes that actions to implement the law simply must fall to the next administration, which takes office on Monday, she added. Companies and content creators connected to TikTok's operations in the U.S., caught in limbo between the two administrations, are seeking assurances that a ban on the popular app and any penalties won't be enforced right away. The law penalizes companies that distribute or update the app with fines of up to $5,000 for each user affected, an equation that could easily reach hundreds of millions of dollars and potentially billions of dollars in penalties. The law requires the Department of Justice to investigate potential violations and pursue enforcement. From what we've heard already, that the implementation is up to the new administration already suggests that they don't plan on enforcing it, Jeffrey Fisher, who represented TikTok users in the challenge to the ban, said on CNN's The Lead with Jake Tapper. CNN's Casey Gannon contributed to this report,